Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everybody, my name is Zahra Maharani with ID is 2023-32047. In here I want to explain for the uh, my code for was. For the cell 1 is import pandas as PD, import numpy as NP, from scalar preprocessing, import min-max scalar. It means for the import pandas as PD, this imports the pandas library and assign it the alias PD. Pandas is used for data manipulation and analysis. Import numpy as NP. This import the numpy library and assign it the alias NP. Numpy is used for numerical operation, especially array and mathematical function. From scalar preprocessing import min-max scalar, this imports min-max scalar from the scikit-learn library used to scale features between 0 and 1 normalization. For the cell 2, load data. The data means is a comment explaining the purpose of this block or loading the dataset. Data for the PD read CSV BTS USD reads a CV file name is BTS USD CSV into a pandas data frame called data and print data for the display the first 5 rows of the data frame to preview the data. Cell 3. Handling missing values. For the data fills missing values using forward fills or takes the last valid value and propagates it forward. Implies true modifies the data directly. Cell 4. Featuring engineering or label untuk classification. For the data price up, create a new column called price up. For the data close shift, -1 shift the closing price one step upwards next day. Data close is compares the next day price with today's price. NP where is if the next day price is higher assign 1 price goes up, otherwise 0. Cell 5. Normalisasi fitur for clustering. For the features data open high low volume, select for column open high low volume as features. Scalar min-max scalar is initialization the min-max scalar object. Feature scaled fits the scalar to the features and transform the so that the values are between 0 and 1. For the cell 6, from scalar nav base, import Gaussian nebi. For the imports all is the meaning is at or for. The first is Gaussian nebi-based classifier, 2 trend test split for model validation, 3 metrics to evaluate performance, and the last is Seaborn and Matplotlib for the data visualization. For the cell 7, for the split data is 70% for training, 30% for testing. The test size is 0, 3. Use normalization features as X and price up as the target Y. For the cell 8 trend model, initialization and translation level voice model predicates label for the test set Y bread. For the cell 9 is evaluation. Prints accuracy score and classification report precision recall F1 score to measure the performance of the model. The cell 10. Confusion matrix for the nav-based classification. This code block visualization the confusion matrix after applying the nav-based classifier. CM for the confusion matrix is calculation the confusion matrix by comparing the actual labels and the predicate labels. For the SNS heatmap, uses Seaborn heatmap to create a colored matrix visualization of the confusion matrix. Show the actual for the not true, show the actual numbers counts inside each cell. For FMTD, formats the numbers as integers. For the blues is use a blue color gradient. PLTXLB X label, the label the X and adds a title. PLT show for the display the plot. For the diagram interpretation, the confusion matrix show how many predictions are correct and incorrect. The, the diagonal values top left to bottom right indicate correct classification. Of diagonal values represent misclassification. This helps evaluation the perform and accuracy of the classification model. For the last cell 40, 14, key means clustering visualizations. For the explanation, this book creates a scatter plot to visualize the result of Keyman's clustering. PLT scatter plot is mean plots each data point based on the open price x-axis and volume y-axis. For the data cluster, is mean color each point according to its assigned cluster from Keyman's. For the Viridis for CMAP, is use the Viridis color map color or color gradient. PLT color bar adds a color bar to show the cluster number for each color. The labels and title explain the X and the purpose of the plot. For the diagram interpretation, is the scatter plot show groups or cluster of data points based on open price and volume each color represents a different cluster group created by the K-means algorithm. The last is this the last for diagram interpretation is this helps to visually identify patterns of market behavior based on historical Bitcoin price and trading volume. Thank you for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.